Ever looked over and seen your dog just exploding with energy, like a furry rocket suddenly blasting off? We call those the zoomies, right? But have you ever stopped to think, what's really going on in that furry little head? Today we're diving deep into the real reasons behind your dog's zoomies and what they actually tell us about our dogs and ourselves. That's right, your dog's behavior is like a direct line to their inner world, and understanding it can make you a way better owner. We're covering everything from the most common reasons to the surprising ones, even reason number 9, which I bet most of you haven't considered, but it makes total sense when you think about it. Stick around, you don't want to miss this. Alright, let's kick things off with the most common reason for zoomies' pure, unadulterated energy overload. Just like us, dogs need to move their bodies, it's in their DNA. Think about it, their ancestors were running miles every day, hunting, playing, exploring. Now your little buddy is probably lounging on the couch most of the day, right? That pent-up energy has got to go somewhere and bam, zoomies. You'll see this especially with puppies and high-energy breeds like border collies or huskies. They're like little balls of energy just waiting to explode. Now how do you handle this? It's simple, more exercise. A tired dog is a well-behaved dog, or at least a less likely to turn into a furry tornado dog. Make sure your dog gets plenty of walks, runs, playtime, whatever gets them moving and grooving. And here's what your dog's zoomies tell you about you. If your dog is constantly hitting warp speed around the living room, it might be a sign that you need to step up your walk game. Don't worry, I've been there. We all get busy, but our dogs depend on us to give them the physical activity they crave. Okay, next up we've got zoomies fueled by pure, unadulterated joy. Ever notice how your dog goes nuts when you come home from work? Or when you bring out their favorite toy? Yeah, those are happy zoomies, think about it. Dogs live in the moment. They don't dwell on the past or stress about the future. When they're happy, they're really happy and they express it with their whole body. And what better way to show it than with a burst of crazy, joyful energy? Now, when those happy zoomies hit, the best thing you can do is just enjoy the show. Let your dog have their fun. Just make sure they've got a safe space to do it, away from anything breakable or anyone who might trip over a furry missile. And what do happy zoomies tell you about yourself? Well, it means you're doing something right. You're creating an environment where your dog feels safe, loved, and happy enough to let their freak flag fly. And that, my friends, is something to be proud of. This one might come as a surprise, but sometimes zoomies are actually a sign of stress. It seems counterintuitive, right? But think about it. When we get nervous or anxious, we might pace around, fidget, or even talk really fast. It's our body's way of releasing that pent-up nervous energy. Well, dogs do the same thing, and sometimes those zoomies are their way of coping with stress. Have you ever taken your dog to the vet and they suddenly start racing around the waiting room? Or maybe they get the zoomies when meeting a new dog for the first time. Those could be stress zoomies. So, what do? First, try to identify what's causing your dog's stress. Is it a certain person, place, or situation? Once you know the trigger, you can start to work on minimizing their exposure to it. If possible, avoid those triggers altogether. And remember, a calm and confident owner makes for a calm and confident dog. So, when your dog is stressed, the best thing you can do is stay calm and assertive yourself. Your dog takes their cues from you, so if you're freaking out, they're gonna freak out too. Zoomies reason number 4, the post-bath ritual. Alright, who else has a dog who turns into a furry torpedo after a bath? It's like they suddenly morph into a completely different creature, right? Well, there are a few reasons why dogs go bonkers after bath time. First, there's the relief factor. Think about it, being wet isn't exactly the most comfortable feeling for a dog. They're used to being dry and fluffy, so that wet fur can feel really weird and uncomfortable. Once they're finally dry, it's like a weight has been lifted, and they celebrate with a burst of zoomies. Then there's the invigoration factor. Some dogs just love the feeling of being clean and refreshed. It's like a shot of adrenaline, and they just can't contain their excitement. And let's be real, there's also the whole trying to dry off thing. Have you ever seen a dog shake themselves off? It's like a mini hurricane. So what's the best way to handle those post-bath zoomies? First, make sure you've got plenty of towels on hand to soak up any excess water. And if your dog is prone to zoomie attacks, you might want to designate a zoom zone, a safe space where they can go wild without knocking over your grandma's antique vase. Zoomies reason number 5, overtired tantrums. Yes, dogs get them too. This one's for all you parents of puppies out there. Ever notice how your little furball gets a sudden burst of energy right before bedtime? It's like they've tapped into some hidden reserve of energy, right? Well, it's a real thing, and it's called the witching hour for a reason. Just like human babies, puppies don't always know their limits. They get tired, But instead of settling down for a nap, they get overtired and cranky. And what's the best way to deal with being overtired and cranky? Zoomies, of course. So how do you handle a puppy who's running on fumes? The key is to establish a consistent sleep schedule. Just like babies, puppies thrive on routine. They need to know when it's time to sleep, time to eat, time to play, and so on. Create a calming bedtime routine. Maybe a little massage, some quiet time in their crate, or a relaxing bedtime story. Okay, maybe not the last one, but you get the idea. And remember, a tired puppy is a good puppy. Make sure your little one is getting plenty of physical and mental exercise throughout the day so they're ready for a good night's sleep. Enjoying the video? Don't forget to subscribe for more insights. Reason number 6, sensory overload. We're all about stimulation these days, right? Well, guess what? Dogs can get overstimulated too. Think about it. Their senses are way more sensitive than ours. They see, hear, and smell things that we can't even perceive. So, when a dog is bombarded with too much sensory input, it can be completely overwhelming. Imagine being in a crowded, noisy room with flashing lights and a million different smells. Wouldn't you want to run around like a crazy person too? That's what it's like for a dog who's overstimulated. So, how can you tell if your dog's zoomies are a sign of sensory overload? Pay attention to their body language. Are they panting excessively? Whining or barking more than usual, trying to hide or escape the situation? If you see these signs, it's time to give your dog a break. Take them to a quiet, calm environment where they can decompress. And in the future, try to avoid situations that are likely to trigger their sensory overload. Reason number 7, tummy troubles. Let's talk about something a little less glamorous, digestive discomfort. Yes, even dogs get tummy aches, and sometimes those zoomies are actually a sign that something's not quite right in the digestive department. Think about it. When we have a stomachache, we might pace around trying to find a comfortable position. Or maybe we get a sudden burst of energy and feel the need to move our bodies. It's the same for dogs. Now, digestive discomfort is a less common reason for zoomies, but it's definitely something to be aware of. If you notice that your dog's zoomies seem to be linked to their eating habits, for example, if they always get the zoomies after eating or right before or after going to the bathroom, it's a good idea to talk to your vet. They might be able to recommend a change in diet or rule out any underlying medical conditions. And as always, if you're ever concerned about your dog's health, it's always best to err on the side of caution and consult with a professional. Zoomies reason number 8. Look at me, the attention-seeking zoomies. Let's be real, dogs are masters of manipulation. They know how to push our buttons, and they're not afraid to use those powers for good, or at least for a belly rub. So it's no surprise that sometimes those zoomies are a dog's way of saying, "Hey, look at me, pay attention to me." Think about it. If you're sitting there, ignoring your dog, and they suddenly start zipping around the house like a furry tornado, are you going to keep ignoring them? Probably not. You're going to stop, you're going to watch, and you're probably going to laugh. And to your dog, that's pure gold. So how do you handle attention-seeking zoomies? Well, the best thing you can do is ignore them. I know, it's easier said than done. But trust me, if you give in to those puppy dog eyes every time they start their zoomie routine, you're just reinforcing the behavior. Instead, wait until they've calmed down, and then reward them with attention, praise, or a quick play session. That way, they'll learn that calm behavior gets rewarded while crazy zoomies get ignored. Zoomies. Reason number 9. It's getting wild out there. Seasonal zoomies. Alright, here's that surprising reason for zoomies I promised you. Seasonal changes. That's right, just like humans, some dogs are more energetic during certain times of the year. And one of the most common times for zoomies to spike is spring. Think about it. After a long winter of being cooped up inside, dogs are ready to burst with pent-up energy. The days are getting longer, the weather's getting warmer, and the world is just begging to be explored. It's like a whole new world has opened up to them, and they just can't contain their excitement. So if you notice that your dog seems to go a little crazier than usual during certain times of the year, don't worry. It's probably just a case of the seasonal zoomies. The best way to handle it is to adjust your dog's exercise routine accordingly. If you know that spring is prime zoomie season, make sure your dog is getting plenty of walks, playtime, and maybe even some off-leash time in a safe, fenced-in area. And remember, a tired dog is a happy dog, and a less likely to destroy your house dog. Reason number 10. When to worry. Medical reasons for zoomies. Alright, we've covered a lot of ground here, but it's important to address the elephant in the room. Sometimes zoomies can be a sign of an underlying medical condition. Now, I'm not saying that every time your dog gets the zoomies, you need to rush them to the emergency vet. But if you notice that your dog's zoomies are excessive, out of character, or accompanied by other unusual symptoms, it's definitely a good idea to get them checked out by a professional. For example, if your dog is suddenly having Zoomie episodes multiple times a day, every day, when they've never done that before, that's a red flag. Or, if their Zoomies seem uncoordinated, like they're having trouble controlling their movements, that could be a sign of a neurological issue. And if their Zoomies are accompanied by other symptoms like lethargy, loss of appetite, vomiting, or diarrhea, that could indicate a more serious health problem. Remember, you know your dog better than anyone. Trust your gut. If something seems off, it's always best to err on the side of caution and consult with your vet. Decoding the Zoomies. You've got this. So there you have it, the real reasons behind your dog's Zoomies. As you can see, those crazy bursts of energy can mean many things, from pure joy to stress to a simple case of the "I need to poop" dance. The important thing is to pay attention to your dog's body language, learn their individual quirks, and trust your gut. By understanding the reasons behind those Zoomies, you can better meet your dog's needs and strengthen your bond. If you found this video helpful, make sure to check out my video on 12 secret signs of a happy and healthy dog. Vets don't always tell you. It's packed with insights that will help you understand your furry friend even better. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.